Hey gear sluts, this is the Aston SwiftShield, and it is a microphone clamp, so that attaches the top of a mic stand, and there's a couple of levers here and your mic's going to fit inside there. Okay, so it's a microphone suspension, and also there's a shield which will pop on there. There you go. Now a mic is just going to pop in. Just tighten that a little. There we go, that's it. So maybe I'll show you a little bit more of this mechanism here. This is almost like rubber bands. Obviously it's a lot stronger than that, but you know, that's nearest equivalent, and that's providing that quite a bit of good suspension, and it seems to be tuned to the mass of the microphone as well. Again, there's just two of these clips here, the microphone pops out. Now this is a V-Clown V13 mic. Heavier mics won't hold in here at all, so the range is kind of limited at the moment, but there again, there are a lot of mics of this weight, so the limitations in the width of the microphone, the kind of diameter of the microphone, and also in its weight. So I tried a Rode K2 tube microphone here and it just slid straight through. So yeah, it's like a finely tuned instrument for lightweight mics, and I think if you have heavier mics, you don't want to be putting them in here. So you know, check the Aston website and you can follow their recommendations. It fits very neatly on here. It's the, you know, a set distance from the microphone. Hopefully that's going to work out okay. It's got this stainless steel material which is washable, which is very good from a hygiene point of view, and you know, maintaining sonic effectiveness. Also, stainless steel shouldn't blemish at all, so it should maintain its looks. You do have the Aston logo on here, and it is pretty discreet, but it can be seen at certain angles. With plosive consonants, the mouth shuts off and energy builds up, and then it's forced through a small gap. So B, T, F. Fricatives, which make up the kind of S's, are different in that there's a constant flow of air, and that's passed over the teeth, and that produces a kind of constant phasing sound. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son. Without the pop shield, different words and phrases are affecting the candle, and with both of these there seems to be a pretty effective guarding against that. I'm going to test the effectiveness of the Aston Shield GN against a control, which is no pop shield, and a traditional pop shield. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the same test now using the SwiftShock. And I'm going to remove the shield, test it with the filter and test it without, and see if we can, if that 5 kilohertz peak was just an anomaly in the previous test. Okay, so I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son, and I'll be plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes. Now I'm going to remove this. Oh, there we go, it's pretty straightforward. Now with the traditional filter. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son, and I'll be plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes. And now without. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son, and I'll be plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes. Okay, so we'll run those through the analysis program now and see what happens.